Hello, everyone, and welcome back to American Idol Unaired. I'm your host, Bennett Shear, and today we are talking to another singer that you didn't see. Please welcome Lexi Weege.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hello, how are you, Lexi?
Pretty good. It's like super sweaty, but very good. I was going to talk to you inside my air-conditioned practice space, but the metal drummer below me is absolutely going to town.
Oh my
So we
goodness.
are outside, we're cooking in the sun, getting a nice base tan on.
Wow. My neighbors just started construction, so hopefully we won't have any issues here. But if we, you know what, we'll get through it. We'll be good.
Yeah, we're tough, we're resilient.
Yes. So, as I mentioned, unfortunately, we did not get to see you on American Idol this season. But as I also said, we've heard a lot about you on this podcast because so many of the incredibly talented singers that we have talked to have spoken about you. And I want to get to know you. So, please give us the introduction that we need from you, Lexi. I would love to hear all about you.
Well, my name is Lexi Weege. I'm a singer-songwriter from Western Massachusetts. I play in a band called Weege and the Wonder Twins. And yeah, I make my living playing music and touring the country. And I completely auditioned for American Idol on a whim.
So that's interesting because there's so many different stories about how people audition. I mean, on a whim, there's people that get reached out to, approached, scouted. So what's the story there behind just deciding, you know what, I'm going to go for it?
So let's see. I think I did my audition back in September of 20. What year? We're in 2022, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I know, right? It's all a blur.
Oh, fucking crazy. Yeah, so it was September of 2021. It was coming up on my 28th birthday. I had just totaled my car, and the entertainment industry was still really seeing the effects of COVID. So while I used to make my living as a musician full time, at that time I was working 4 part-time jobs, still trying to gig, and just everything seemed really, really hopeless. So my mom sent me a link to audition for Idol, and it was very easy. You just like send in a video or do a Zoom call. So I sent in a video of me and my guitar player doing a Leonard Cohen song, Bird on a Wire, pre-recorded, submitted it, and just never thought about it again. It's like, whatever. Like, if it happens, cool. If not, like, I got to go to work tomorrow. So here we are. And right away, I got an email right back saying, hi, the producers would like to speak with you. Can you get on a Zoom call tomorrow at, I think it was maybe noon or 1. And I was like, well, that's like, it was almost instantaneous. It seemed too easy. And I mean, when the universe throws you something that easily, you didn't really have to work that hard for it. You take those opportunities.
Of course.
Yeah, and again, I had auditioned for The Voice when I was a teenager and had a really bad experience, so I wasn't expecting much. Just the whole cattle call thing. You get in line, you sing, and then you get sent home. Long day for no reason, it felt like. So I go to my practice space, I put on my makeup, and I prepare 3 songs to sing for them. And I could hear, once again, the metal drummer below me, like, getting ready to warm up and go.
He's still going.
I know. I feel like he's still going from that time. Like, he never stops. But I get ready for the Zoom call. I sing Valerie. I think I sang Oh Darlin', and I sang Kansas City Star, and I played guitar on that one. And they loved it. They sent me through to the next round. I could hear him tuning up. I could hear the metal drummer below me. So all I'm thinking is like, Jesus, like, I'm about to have this potentially crazy opportunity, and this guy's just going to be like shedding below me.
Oh my goodness.
But I sang for them again, and it went really well. And they said, okay, you can either go to Austin, Nashville, or LA. And yeah, we'll send you the email. It'll be great. And I like politely said, like, hi, like, I'd love to talk more, but like, we need to stop. This guy's about to start like shedding on drums.
Oh my goodness.
So they laughed. So like, okay, like, we'll send you the rest of the information in the email. I chose to go to Nashville just because at the time I thought I was going to drive, and that seemed like the most accessible driving option. And a lot of my friends are there, and they play out in the city. So even if I didn't make it, I could at least like go out and have a nice time.
Yeah, wow. Just getting that first reply from going out on a whim and getting the email back. I mean, was it hard to believe at first just to hear back that quickly?
Absolutely, because it didn't feel real. I mean, it's not like you wait in line anymore because of COVID. It's like a simple Zoom call, which in today's day and age and in this world, we do all the time.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel real, but also makes it very accessible to do, which was pretty cool.
You mentioned Nashville, and getting there, I'm sure, was a wild experience because, as people know by now from listening to the show, it's not just, you go, you sing for the judges, and then you're out the door. You're there for days filming, meeting people, getting camera ready, and there's so much that goes into it.
Absolutely. So I did wind up flying after all of that, which was fine. I'd never flown alone on an airplane before, actually, so I was fucking terrified.
Wow.
Like getting on the airport, it wasn't as bad as I made it out to be. Anytime you do something for the first time, it feels so impossible. Mm-hmm. But I flew to Nashville. I get there. I think I auditioned on day one. And I mean, as I'm sure you've spoken to a lot of contestants, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And yeah, I met a lot of really cool people. They were all singing in the holding room. But the thing that really threw me the most was how cold it was. Because of COVID, they left all the windows open and like the doors wide open on the roof of this hotel. And it was just so fucking cold. And I remember like a bunch of people started getting sick because they didn't dress properly because it's the South. Like you don't think it's going to be cold. At least like I didn't think that. I live in Massachusetts. It's regularly like 20 degrees and below all winter. So yeah, it was really freezing.
Well, I mean, as much as we're not even close to getting to talking about Hollywood Week, I'm sure that Nashville was nothing compared to the cold that you experienced in Hollywood Week.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely bananas.
Yeah. Once you arrived on the set of American Idol, it's kind of like this is it, right? I mean, after all the things you had to go through virtually to actually be there in person, I mean, that must have felt really wild just because, as you said, I mean, you didn't have the best experience in the past with a cattle call, and now you've gone through the entire process where they're like, we want you on this show. So to be there, to see all the lights and the cameras, what were you feeling about, this dream possibly coming true for you?
It still didn't feel real. It just felt like, I don't know how to explain it, but it really didn't feel real. It just felt like, because you hadn't really seen the judges yet. You're still in a room with a bunch of people singing. Like I knew it was different and exciting. It had the potential to change my life, but I was still just sitting in a hotel lobby with a bunch of people with N95s on. So I mean, it didn't really feel real yet. We're getting interviewed a lot, asked a lot of questions. They were really pushing for me to talk about my sibling. She's disabled. She struggled. She's living with cancer. She's been in remission for a long time. But she's an adult living with a disability, and they really wanted me to fixate on that. And while it's unfortunate, it's a part of our lives, and she's a happy, healthy kid. Mm-hmm. So they kind of kept pushing me to talk about that, and I felt weird about it, but I would talk about it a little bit. And then when they started fixating on my age very early on, I'm 28 years old, which I think the last year you can do the competition is you have had to turn 28 by a certain time. Like, mm-hmm. So I think Elliot's 29 now, and I'm turning 29 this year. But they kept fixating on my age and wanting me to reflect on how this was my last chance to do the competition or do something like this. And right away that made me feel kind of weird, and I was not digging that. So I started to get pretty salty early on with just like the baiting questions, trying to get a reaction out of me, asking how it felt for my last time, how it felt to do something for the last time. And yeah, I wasn't really giving into the baiting, and I could see them getting frustrated with that. So I started to feel a little salty, but it was exciting to be around all these amazing singers. And there was just people singing everywhere, singing in harmony. And that was really cool. And there were a lot of really amazing young people. Because yeah, I was the oldest one there that I had seen so far. Like I hadn't met some of the crazy characters you'll get to hear about later on. But yeah, a lot of really cool and amazing young people. Just like who knew who they were and had beautiful voices and knew what they wanted. And that was so cool to see.
Do you remember which day that you performed in front of the judges? Because again, you're there for a long time filming and everything.
I believe I performed on the first day, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, I went, I think I maybe went around 4 or 5 in the afternoon because I remember doing something called the 180 room. Mm-hmm. Which is essentially they surprise you and they take you into a room where you're basically on a big FaceTime with your family, which was extremely awkward. It was my mom, my guitar player Tom, and my little sister. And we didn't really know what to say. The internet connection was terrible. So anytime my mom said something, I couldn't quite hear it. And they kept they kept making us redo it because I didn't seem surprised enough or excited enough. But it's kind of hard to be excited or surprised or engaged when the internet connection is shit and there's all these cameras on you. But yeah, we laugh. Tom, my guitar player, had showed my mom how to screen record the Zoom call. So we screen recorded it, and like months later, we went back and watched it, and it was just so horribly awkward, like just so cringy.
Oh my gosh.
But I have that memory for the rest of my life, so that's fun.
Something to laugh about for sure.
Oh yeah, like it's a real trip.
Oh my gosh. Well, going and performing in front of the judges, I mean, that's obviously what you're here to do. You're here to sing. So, in the midst of all this other television stuff, and obviously it may have been challenging at times, but how are you feeling just about going in there and performing?
I wasn't nervous at all throughout the whole thing. Like I went into my rehearsal, practiced my song, and I felt very prepared because above all else, I'm only good at one thing in my own opinion, and I can sing. So I wasn't nervous about that at all. Like if you would ask me to go juggle in front of them or like solve a really intense equation or like I would be nervous about something like that, but I've been singing my whole life and it's my favorite thing to do. So I was excited. But once Patrick clipped the mic on me and goes, okay, you're going to walk into this room, there's going to be a step, and then you'll see the judges. Like, and I'm like, oh shit. I suddenly was like, this is actually happening. And wow, I've been way too cavalier about this whole thing. So I walk down the little, you like go out, like you enter through like a little breezeway. So you're outside for a second and then you re-enter the building.
Right.
Patrick did warn me about the step, but I did not heed his warning. And I walk into this room with really bright lights, stumble, and then I'm just suddenly in front of Luke, Lionel, and Katie. Like, oh, well, what an entrance. And yeah, they look fake. Like they're so beautiful. Like I've never seen someone so close to me and so beautiful before. That felt very surreal. Just like these beautiful, sparkly beings.
How much do you remember about the interaction that happened between you and the judges, or sort of maybe the banter, the dialogue before you started your performance?
Honestly, not much. It was so suddenly all of my adrenaline kicked in, and like I can remember bits and pieces. At least before, and we talked briefly. They asked me about my sister. I had no idea what I said.
Yeah,
I don't. But like they were very, very nice and made conversation. I think the first thing Katie said was she complimented my denim jumpsuit. I was like, oh, thanks. Like I got it at the store I work at, something like that. And so the piano begins. I'm singing Without You by Harry Nilsson. And I absolutely crushed it. I remember being very present in the song and like really just like I felt so good about what I did. And I felt like as it was happening, like, oh yeah, I feel free. And like, that's right. Like I did all of this just so I could sing in front of these people. And like I'm finally arriving and this is what it's all for. I finished my big note. I'm feeling super confident. And I finished the song Silence. They all stood up. And that felt really good. I'm like, all right, this is going great. Katy Perry looks me dead in the eyes and says, you're weird. She wasn't being funny. She wasn't being like cute. It was aggressive and felt really mean. So I'm like, all right, okay. Like, and so I didn't know what to say. So I just stood there as I'm told, you're weird. And then like pause, but I couldn't take my eyes off of you. I was like, all right, okay. And Luke Bryant looks at me and goes, I don't get it. It's like Janis Joplin, but I just don't get it. And then Lionel Richie slaps his hand on the table and says, it's art. Like what she did is art. She's a true artist. If you don't get it, it just means that you don't get it. Like it's not for everybody what this girl is doing. She's a true artist and she's brilliant. I'm saying yes. Like he told me I was captivating and he couldn't take his eyes off me. And then Katie said the same thing. Like she was like, I don't get why you're convulsing so much, but I couldn't take my eyes off of you. Yes, from me. Lionel also gave me a yes. And then Luke said no. So I got to go through to Hollywood. I grabbed my golden ticket. I say thank you. I trip again on the way out because, one time's not enough, I guess. So I left that experience feeling I left that room and they immediately interview you right away. And this one woman, and I kept having to be interviewed by this one PA. So she was the one who kept asking me how I felt to be old and just kind of, was very baiting with her questions. She was really good at her job. Because that's what they want from you. They want a reaction. And so right away she picks up on the fact that I'm not excited, but I have a ticket. And she's like, so what are you thinking? Like, how do you feel? You got the golden ticket. Aren't you excited? And I said, yeah, but Katy Perry called me weird and Luke didn't like it. Like, I have the golden ticket, but it's not over yet. There's still a whole competition. And she's like, but why aren't you excited? Do you even care? I'm like, wow, that's like, she was very aggressive and started rapid fire asking these questions to me like that. She's like, well, it's your last chance, your last chance. I'm like, yeah, it's not over yet. I'm excited, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. I'm not about to count my eggs before they hatch. And once she realized she couldn't get anything else out of me, she was like, okay, thank you. Then they send you right upstairs to get a psych evaluation right away. So like after you have this big monumental moment of great success and like you know, one step, once you have this big moment and it's like, oh yes, I got the golden ticket. Great. You're feeling excited. You go upstairs and you just get asked to recall like every bad thing that's ever happened to you because they're trying to make sure that you're sound enough to handle the competition. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'd been struggling a lot with my mental health and not feeling so good. How much do I reveal about myself? And if I reveal too much, will they take my ticket away? And that was kind of a weird place to be. But no, it went fine. I got cleared and they sent me back home. And, you know, they tell you Hollywood Week's going to be, I think they gave you like a month to prepare and then they send you back. But I felt kind of weird because like, yeah, I had gotten my golden ticket. I'd met all these cool people. Like I'm going to be on TV, at least at this point. Like they don't ever prepare you for the fact that you could not be aired.
Right.
Like maybe I was naive and like I probably should have been prepared for that. But no, I went into this full experience thinking like, all right, no matter what happens, I'm going to get this incredible exposure. People are going to hear my original music and yeah, like this won't all be for nothing. And I had kind of hemmed and hawed about going because I had this golden ticket, but it felt kind of gross. Just like it felt fake and I felt, and I was insulted. So I felt kind of weird about being called weird. And at the end of the day, I decided to go to Hollywood Week. I took my plane, landed okay, got there really late at night, was really, really hungry because you can't leave the airport to go to the hotel until everyone arrives. And a couple people's flights got delayed. So we're just waiting at this airport, super hungry. But when you get to our hotel, it's really beautiful. Nice big bathtub. And it was freezing.
Way more cold than Nashville.
It was even colder than Nashville. So freezing. But yeah, I made it. And I was starting to feel excited. I had felt like I had my doubt and I felt shitty about my experience. But getting to meet other contestants and have them kind of say like, yeah, I don't know how I felt about it. Like it was cool or it was weird or hey, I made it. And like it ended up being cool. Like I met a lot of really cool people who kind of made me feel better about my weird experience.
After having those negative comments from Katy, being around all these other artists, which, you know, obviously we saw such a small fraction on the show that actually got aired, but there's so much unique talent and so much of what makes up this industry is people who are unique and who are different and maybe who, whether it's how they perform or how they look, I mean, you know, whatever it is about the way that different artists perform, I'm sure that you saw so many different kinds of people that probably made you feel better about the fact that, oh, maybe I don't fit into what Katy Perry likes to look at in a performer. Like, I'm sure it felt nice to see all these different people who are also doing things maybe differently.
Absolutely. And I mean, like you meet a couple people at the airport, but I also didn't realize how many people go to Hollywood Week. Because I've watched the show before, but it's been a while. And I mean, to see it on TV is one thing, but to actually be there immersed in it, completely different.
Yeah.
The next morning, like after, you know, they let you go to bed and kind of rest up. And then the next day you go into this big conference room in a hotel and they kind of give you the lowdown of what's going to happen. And I walk into this hotel lobby at 6 a.m. and there's 300 fucking people. All different types of people, like young people my age, beautiful, like normal, like just this crazy, beautiful, diverse group of people. 300 of them. Like, oh well, it's gonna be, and then right away you hear them all just fucking singing. It's from all over the place. You hear people singing in closets and bathrooms, dressed up, dressed down. It was very stimulating.
Wow.
It was a lot.
It's kind of insane. I mean, I'm, as the host of this podcast, my goal is to try and uncover as many of these people as possible. And every day I'm figuring out new names because just as I think I've found almost everybody who is a part of the show this season, I find a new name. And I guess, depending on how many people post about it on social media, that's the main way you kind of figure it out. But somehow I hear about another person, I interview this person, they say, oh, you should talk to X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, they auditioned too. It's like, it really is. It's a huge amount of people.
It seriously is. And yeah, I mean, even like, because I'm an avid listener of your podcast, and I'll still like go through and like see when you post a new episode and it's someone I never met. And that has been really cool to see. You never get a chance to meet everyone because there is so much shuffling about. And yeah,
going from the auditions to Hollywood Week, I imagine it's another level just because of not only how many people are there, but the pressure cooker intensifies. I mean, there's multiple rounds, and as we'll find out, you made it quite far, so you're there for a pretty long time. After kind of getting to the airport and going into the holding room and everything, what's the first thing that you remember about what you were filming once you got to Hollywood Week?
I remember being brought up to the roof and they gave us our line number. And for the genre week, you perform in a line, they go by genre, and my genre was soul. And I met all my line mates. It was me, Kevin, Taylor Fagan, Cadence Baker, Skylar, and a couple of other folks. And you meet your line, you all kind of talk about what you're going to sing, and then they bring you up to the roof to meet your mentors. And our mentor was Haley Reinhart, which I was surprised by how starstruck I was because I'd seen her on Postmodern Jukebox. She didn't talk to any of us, but we got to see her like walk out in this beautiful sparkly outfit. That was pretty cool.
Well, genre challenge first round, but I mean, an enormous cut. To make it just past that round is a huge accomplishment, let alone you made it 2 more rounds. But do you remember, first of all, were you day 1, day 2?
I think I was the first day.
Who were some standouts? Because I imagine, I'm not sure exactly when in the day you went, but you're watching so many other performers and again, a lot of people. But were there any standouts for you sitting in the audience?
Yes. My favorite performance of all of Hollywood Week was Jade Flores. She sang How Great Thou Art. It didn't get aired, but holy shit, I teared up. That girl moved. The spirit moved me. Getting to just like cheer and watch all these beautiful singers, it was really, really awesome. And then when it was my time to go up, I also got treated to just like this incredible feeling of support. And I misspoke. I auditioned with Bird on a Wire, and then for genre round, I sang Without You.
Oh, okay.
And I remember going up and performing and just feeling so supported by my fellow contestants.
Do you remember at what point in the day that you went?
I feel like it was earlier on in the day because I remember like singing, getting it over with, and getting to just kind of watch everybody.
And then you're in the audience for day 2 as well. So then you have more people to see. And is that nerve-wracking? Is that fun to just kind of sit back? I mean, how did you feel about that?
I just really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
Like once I did my thing and like I felt really good about it. I was, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's out of my hands. So right. I was able to kind of just sit and watch and enjoy. I got to see Elliot perform, which was nuts. He was absolutely wildly talented. I got to see Mark Osborne. That was wonderful. Jay definitely like blew my mind.
I was talking to a contestant recently about how it's just a different experience to hear these performances in person and that TV just cannot do it justice.
No, it's so true. Because I mean, they cut quite a bit. Like sometimes you will only get to see part of the song on TV.
Right. The acoustics too, but just being in that theater,
Absolutely.
Getting through, so many performances, which I mean, as many people as there are, I can't even imagine. But still, I mean, getting treated to a free concert like that, I mean, what a privilege it must have been. And then to get through both days of Genre Challenge, and then that same night that they finish Genre Challenge, you get paired with your duet partners. And as listeners probably know if they listen to the episode with Elliot, who we've been talking about, you guys were partnered up, and he spoke about your performance, which was very memorable. Other contestants have talked about your duet performance, but I want to hear all about that experience from your perspective of getting paired with Elliot, what that night looked like, rehearsing and everything. So I want to hear all about it.
So I got paired with Elliot, and then right after you get paired with your duet partner, they send you upstairs to another room in the hotel, and you have to work out your duet for overnight and then perform it the next day. It was really easy working with Elliot, and I was just so excited to have something collaborative. Because I mean, I went by myself. I mean, all of Hollywood Week, you're by yourself, and it is kind of lonely. So I was just excited to have somebody to make something cool with. And right off the bat, we like clicked right away. We're both living in New England, and yeah, we mean even now we live 2 hours away from each other. So we had a lot to talk about. We'd been to a lot of the same places. And we approached music the same way. We wanted to make something good. It wasn't about out singing the other one. It wasn't about, we just wanted to create a really wonderful moment and make something nice together. And I think we succeeded in that. We sang Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. We practiced it a couple of times and it felt really good right away. So we didn't want to oversing it, and it sounded good to us. So we practiced a couple times, sang it in front of the vocal coaches. And they had said it was really special and they wouldn't change a thing. So yeah, we were in bed at a reasonable time, and we got up and we performed it the next day. And the judges don't really interact with you. I shouldn't say. Like, as far as genre challenge goes, they kind of just like have you step forward. You either leave or you stay, and that's that. They don't really give you any kind of critique, really. Just like the drama of like sending you home or letting you stay. But we performed our song, and Lionel Richie jumps up. I think he came up to us and shook our hands and said, "I know Stevie Nicks, and this is the best version of Dreams I've ever heard." Like, his mind was blown. Like, and the judges were saying like what an amazing pairing it was, and how they'd never, like, that it was one of the best duets they'd ever heard, and that, yeah, like it was the best version of Dreams Lionel Richie had ever heard. And so we're feeling confident, and we're like, oh, hell yeah. Like there's no way they wouldn't show this. And we felt really good about it. And then from then on, throughout the rest of the competition, we were buddies. And that was really sweet to have a friend with me.
Wow. What was the reaction in the room like? I mean, obviously, if the judges are reacting that strongly, I can't imagine what it must have felt like, to create that memory. Because, I mean, as you said, it's all, you both had the same idea in mind. You just wanted to make something special, and you probably impacted all those people in that room.
Everyone loved it. And it wasn't just because, I mean, like, you get cocky and you get confident when something feels good. Like, it was so nice to know that it wasn't just us who thought it was good, because we felt amazing about it. And like, we really clicked. And even like Lionel had said, because we called our band, because they let you name your duet, your group. We called it the Dusty Bones, because everyone kept talking about, every PA we spoke to told us like how old we are, and that was like what our narrative became the longer we were there. So of course, like, they paired the two old farts together. So we called ourselves the Dusty Bones, and we thought it was pretty funny, and the judges thought it was funny too. Yeah, it felt really good, and they let us through.
You showed them, though. I mean, look what you Dusty Bones pulled off.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, it's no surprise you guys got through after that performance. And if I'm correct, they gave you a little rest between duets and the Showstopper round, so you had a little break from filming, correct?
We did.
When it was time for Showstoppers, what were you thinking as far as song choice, and what did you end up going with?
I ended up choosing to go with "Oh Darlin'" by the Beatles. And I felt really good about that choice. But like, the longer I was there, the more I kind of felt shitty about the experience. Like, I hated how they were fixating on my age, and there was a lot of hurry up and wait. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to be there anymore. And it felt, even though I was having all these great victories, it just sucked. Like, that's all they really cared about was that.
Mm-hmm.
But I chose "Oh Darlin'." I felt really good about it, but honestly, I was just feeling really nervous about like how I wanted to be presented, like how I was curious how my narrative would be shaping up. But above all else, like, the biggest thing I had anxiety about was just like I'm a queer woman, and I felt like throughout the competition I was like dressing in a way that didn't show that. And like, I don't wear bras, I'm like hairy pits, and I was kind of like, all right, what do I wear? How do I present in this last round? So I ended up going with a dress that, like, yeah, I went barefoot. I like showed my pits, and I felt like myself, which was really cool, because I felt like if I wasn't going to get through, I wanted to at least go out like myself. And I feel like I did that. And I performed I got a standing O. I wouldn't say I did my best, but I did pretty good.
You know, that's a beautiful thing that not only did the crowd accept you, but I feel like no matter the outcome, whether you had made it or had not made it, just being able to sleep at night knowing that you're yourself, because I think that that's what any artist should work towards. Everybody has a different path to follow in terms of how easy it is to walk in your own truth. But for you to be able to find that and to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to go and do this, I think is so important for any artist and really just any human being. I mean, I know that sometimes these things aren't easy, but you know, to find that courage, that's so important.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as the results go, more waiting. I can see at this point how the hurry up and wait may have been frustrating because you go from performing to waiting to performing to waiting, and then you finally get to go to find out whether or not you are going to make it into the top 24. And at this point, the fact that this is basically going to determine whether or not you're making it through to America's vote, and the fact that you're saying, you know, maybe it's kind of a shitty experience, you don't know whether or not you want to be there. What kind of emotions do you have going into this pivotal moment in the Idol experience?
What felt crazy is at the time, like, I felt like I actually could make it, because even though my first interaction with the judges was so negative, as I progressed in the competition, it seemed like I was kind of winning them over. And I kept thinking, like, I don't know if this is what I wanted to. My mental health was fucking suffering the longer I was there. I just started to feel kind of shitty and pretty depressed. So yeah, it was bittersweet because I felt like I had a chance, but did I want to take that chance? And at the time I had no idea that I wouldn't be shown either, because I was at least if I make it this far, like, people will see it and maybe they'll, you know, resonate with what I'm doing. But I remember we moved hotels because someone got stabbed outside our hotel, I guess. I don't know if that was why, but I remember that being a thing of like, someone got stabbed. They moved us to a new hotel. It wasn't as fancy, but it was like a beautiful, it was in Malibu in Calabasas. It's very beautiful. And they take us to Calabasas Ranch and we do something called the Green Mile.
Right.
So when they do give you your results, you're walking down this really cool, like, green carpet under this little archway with Christmas lights, and there you see the judges. And that's the first time you get to be, like, physically close to them. Because the whole time you're at the Orpheum, they're quite a ways away from you, because you're on one end of the stage and they're on the other end of the stage. But they're very close to you, and they have you walk up and sit down. And right off the bat, Lionel Richie talks about my originality. And he says, you know, if this was a competition based on originality and artistry alone, you would have made it. I'm thinking, like, as he's starting to talk, I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm actually going to make it. Like, maybe this will be a good thing. Like, maybe I should just, like, bite the bullet and do it. And I think I could make the top 24. I'm, like, thinking all these crazy things. But then as he says, like, you would have made it through if the competition was based on those things. Like, oh shit, okay. And then Katy Perry talks about how, like, my work by myself was great, but my work with Elliot was, like, amazing, and that we should take the act on the road. Talks about how it was nice to see other sides of me. And, like, I feel like she was 50-50 about me throughout the competition. Like, she really liked me with Elliot. She liked when I would do things with, like, a softer side, but I got the impression that she found what I did, like, the soulful shit that I sang was, like, a little aggressive for her, maybe, or, like, that's kind of what I got from it. And Luke said absolutely nothing. Like, he could have cared less to be there.
I'm also curious because at this point we know you didn't make it, but I imagine that must have been a long day. I mean, I don't know what point that you actually got to go in and get the verdict, but I'm sure that for you and your fellow competitors, especially the ones that you had gotten close with, it was kind of like just a weird feeling of like, this is it. Like, you don't know whether or not you're going to continue on with these people. You don't know whether or not this is goodbye. And I'm sure there was a lot of just weird stuff in the air in terms of, like, for yourself, like, what's the rest of my career going to look like? Does American Idol going to determine, you know, where I'm headed next?
Yeah, kind of. That is how I felt. I had no idea what I was going to do next, but ultimately, like, it felt really, really fucking good to be told that, like, that my artistry is what shone through, and the fact that I am so different and unique is, like, was the first thing they took away from me. That felt really, really good and very validating. So yeah, ultimately I didn't make it. And when I came out, because you have to face your contestants, and Ryan Seacrest asks you, like, if you made it, what the verdict was, and everyone was shocked, which I made friends while I was there, but I was surprised that I made such such a good impression on people. That felt really good too.
It's almost like that's rewarding in the sense that, yeah, you have these celebrities that didn't give you a yes, but to essentially meet these peers that are doing the same thing you're doing, pursuing the same dream that kind of gave you that acceptance. I mean, that's something where I feel like no matter what the judges said, you can walk away knowing that these other people love what you were doing. I feel like that must have made an impact on you.
Oh, absolutely. That did feel really, really good. And just the fact that they were surprised that I didn't make it, that that made me feel like, oh shit, like I actually did do a good job. Like that was very validating.
Right, right. Now I know that this isn't. It was. I've heard this before from another contestant. Not the most. It's a little bit depressing, but they had a yes bus and a no bus for when you leave the Green Mile filming, and obviously you had to take the latter. But I mean, what was it like leaving that filming spot, knowing that you were no longer on the show?
Honestly, I felt relieved. Like I had been like so on the fence about the experience of like if you just keep your mouth shut and like do what's expected of you and suck it up, like this could mean amazing things for your career. Or you could just like say fuck it. But no, I felt really relieved. Like that's so not how I'm supposed to do whatever it is I'm supposed to do. So I did feel relieved. I felt bad. I was on the bus with I forget who I was on the bus with a younger kiddo, and he was really really upset and crying. I'm like, oh God, like when you're that young, this is how you think success happens. Like I've worked in the industry for a long time. I'm so fucking fortunate to be able to like get paid pretty well and sing for people and make them happy. And like I have the job. So no matter what, like I kind of went into it with this feeling of like, no matter what, I still am a singer. I still get to tour and I still get to do these things. So it's like it wasn't that high stakes. Like as I was there and like I started realizing I could have a different tier of it, like a different type of success. Yeah, it sucked that I didn't get to have that. But at the end of the day, like it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm a singer and I love what I do.
16 to 28, I mean, unlike other shows where you literally can have anybody of all ages, it is pretty limited. But you're talking about someone who has maybe like less than a decade of experience, and you're talking like gigging for 10 years versus barely having ever performed, and seeing kind of that difference between somebody who's sort of green when it comes to the industry versus having been involved with it for a long time. There's so much talent coming from all different ages, but the different levels of experience in one big melting pot, I'm sure. It's an interesting thing to witness.
It's wild that my age was presented to me as a negative because I've done so much growing and I've like gotten to go out in the world and figure out who I am. I have a pretty good idea of who I am. And no matter what, you can throw me in any situation. And if I have to sing, I'm gonna sing and be all right at it. Like I think about how, like, especially if I was like a 16, 17-year-old kid, thinking about how I was at that age and being thrown into this crazy experience with no sleep and not enough food and with the pressure of being in front of celebrities and the whole thing, I don't think I could have handled it. So even more so, like, I admire these younger people who have the guts to do it because I don't think I would have. And they handled it with such grace and like, yeah, Jesus. But no, I think that my age was a benefit. I don't think I could have gotten as far as I did if I was a younger person.
The period of getting off the show filming wise, and then the show having not even aired yet, and you still not knowing whether or not you were going to air, but also knowing that you got sent home. I know that's a lot to unpack, but what were those next couple of months like? Because you're not telling people that you got sent home, but you're also waiting to see if you're going to get aired, and then you have to promote the show. So many different things where Idol is still a part of your life for those reasons.
Yeah. So I was let go, but ultimately I felt really, really good about what I did. I felt really proud of what I did. And like, even though I kind of felt like shit and was pretty depressed, like I still persevered. And like the moments where I was called upon to sing, I think I did a really good job. And I made lots of cool friends and like I still kept in touch with a bunch of them. But yeah, at this point I thought I was going to be aired. So I was pumped. I was like, hell yeah, at least like I get to like, maybe people will see my audition and be like, wow, why didn't she make it? She's so good. And like, or maybe they would see me and Elliot and like be impressed by that. And like, we could start our recording career on our own. Or like, I don't know. Like I was still filled with optimism and possibility, even though I didn't make it, because ultimately I was happy I didn't make it. The local paper in my town runs a story on me saying, oh, tune in to see Lexi on the opening episode of American Idol. I'm like, oh shit, like I never said I was going to be on the first episode. So this wildfire starts happening in my town, and like the one newspaper does a story and then two more do a story. I'm just hoping that I'll be on the first episode. I'm not. My mom and I are watching it, and people are just like texting her, sliding into her Facebook DMs, sliding into my Instagram DMs, like, hey, where are you? We don't see you. Were you even on TV? I'm like, oh shit, is this going to be the rest of like my time the show is on? And so I messaged, or I texted my storyboard producer and was like, hey, like just wondering if you had any idea of when I'd be on. And he was like, not sure, but it's looking like you and Elliot will probably be aired. So like, just stick around for that. I've been editing the episode. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I was really proud of that. And like, yeah, I was bummed that I wouldn't get to like show my stuff. Like at least like we would be together, and like we were both really proud of that. More weeks go by. People are coming into my work now asking me about it. I think at this time I had taken my bartending job. And like people are like emailing my family. Like, it's getting a little out of control, and we're a little overwhelmed by it. Because at this time, like we hadn't heard from anybody. We were kind of felt a little blown off by them. But yeah, people are just like not leaving us alone, harassing us, trying to figure it out. Some people think I lied about the whole thing. Super wild stuff. People have no boundaries. But yeah, that sucked for sure.
And then once you knew for a fact that you're not going to get aired, I know you mentioned you've watched American Idol in the past. I'm assuming it'd be hard to keep watching the rest of the season once you knew you're not going to be on at all.
I stopped watching, yeah. I stopped watching. And you're also not really supposed to say, because you're encouraged to get people to watch the show. And like they want you to kind of get people engaged in the show. So yeah, once I figured out that I wasn't going to be aired, I couldn't really say that I wasn't going to be aired. But once they aired the final episode of Hollywood Week, I got to be like, hey guys, just so you know, like I was actually there, and they didn't show me. It sucked, but hey, like this is what I learned from it. And people were a little more kind after that. But yeah, it was pretty embarrassing.
I'm sure it's difficult to sort of to spend the time. I mean, do you spend the time thinking, oh, why was I not aired over this person? Or do you kind of just be like,
oh, of course I was. Of course I was. And I mean, like, I was going through so much at the time of Idol. I was so fucking depressed while I was there, and I just felt awful. And I kept thinking at the time, I was like, wow, did they just pick up on how bad my vibe was? Like, did they not like me? Was I not good about it? Like, was I not good enough? Like, was I too hairy? Was I too gay? Was I not gay enough? Like, you think about all these crazy things, but ultimately, as I look back on it now, it's been a couple months, like, that is not the version of myself that I would want floating around the internet. This depressed, like, because I mean, like, when I feel a certain way, I feel like I wear it on my sleeve. It's so obvious. So I'm so glad now that that's not the version of myself that's floating around the internet forever. This sad, broken person. And I mean, I came home from Idol. I moved back in with my mom because I realized, like, holy shit, I cannot handle myself on my own. I quit drinking. I started writing a lot of music. I got help. I went into therapy, and I started like turning my life around. Because I mean, there is so much time while you're there to just kind of sit with your own thoughts and evaluate who you are. And like, above all else, even though like my performances went over well and people seemed to like that I didn't like myself at all. I was just this miserable, jaded person, and I didn't like myself. And I'm so glad ultimately that I was able to have that time away from my real life to be alone with my own thoughts and be forced to be like, holy shit, like, you're on a bad path. Reevaluate your life and try again.
mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. And I mean, like, I'm kind of on the path to liking who I am, and that's important to me.
That's everything, Lexi. I mean,
Yeah.
that's everything, and everything happens for a reason, because there's things that you gained from American Idol, and it did play a role in sort of your road to kind of figuring out who you are to kind of get back to that better place. I mean, sometimes you kind of have to get to a darker spot to pick yourself up.
Absolutely. I really do think that. And I mean, like, ultimately I made it so far, and at the time I didn't see it that way. At the time I was like, wow, fuck this, like, how did they not see how good I was? Like, and you're miserable and you're upset. But I'm like, someone told me that 100,000 people auditioned And I made it to the top 59 out of 100,000 people. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's such an accomplishment. And like, my golden ticket lives at my mom's house above the fireplace. That's a place of honor.
Yes, of
She
course.
doesn't just put anything up there. It's like
Yeah.
it is an accomplishment. And I'm so grateful to like that whole time in Hollywood week. Just, I was so sad. And I feel like I didn't like let on to people how like much of a hard time I was having. But there was this one night where I was just like really bummed out. They give you Uber Eats to eat with. Like, they give you like a preloaded card and like Uber Eats credits. And because of where our hotel was, a lot of the times the Uber Eats drivers couldn't find a place to park. So I would try and order Taco Bell like every night. And 3 out of the 5 nights it didn't come. And I remember just being really depressed and really, really hungry and just so sad. And Elliot walks down and he's like, "Hey bud, I have an extra taco. Are you hungry?" And I see him and it's almost like this ray of beautiful
Oh,
golden light is like behind his head. And
oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
shit, you are a literal angel. And in that moment, I wasn't able to be like, "Hi, I'm really depressed. I kind of want to kill myself, but I'm not gonna." Like, can we talk about it? No. I was just like, in that moment, I feel like it was a wordless exchange of like, I'm struggling and you have helped. It
Wow.
was very sweet.
Man.
And it was a Doritos Locos taco. So, I mean, that doubles the good deed.
I don't know, hearing you say that just like literally made me like it made me smile so big just because like that's a friend right there. Like giving up a taco. I mean, come on.
Yeah, seriously. Like, that was a really good moment.
Being an artist, like it's all about like depicting the human experience, the ups, the downs, good, bad, and I feel like what it takes to be vulnerable as a musician, and this transcends American Idol. I mean, music's been in your blood way before, these TV shows started coming about, but finding music as like a coping mechanism while also going through really difficult things, I feel like must be an interesting balance because I bet that music is an escape.
I don't think I would have made it as far as I have in this life without having music and being able to sing. Because no matter what, it's like, especially while I was on Idol, I'd be sitting around waiting, just thinking about like just how I want to be here. I don't want to be here. I feel like shit, but I have to pretend I don't. And like, what is my life going to be like? And like, do I like myself? And like, as soon as it's like, all right, Lex, it's your time to sing, I take a deep breath, and I would take it, while I was there and now. It's like, oh yeah, this is your time to be present in your body and like feel your toes on the ground and like feel your diaphragm go in and out. And like, it was always very grounding every time I did and do get to sing. So like, I'm so grateful I have that, because it's hard to find moments in your life when you really can be present in your body. I mean, that I am very grateful for.
And music's your gift, it's what you bring to the world. It's like among all the other things that you do in your daily life and all the connections you have and the friendships and what makes your life happy. It's like music is something you can turn to no matter if you are up or down. It's like that thing I feel like that I'm guessing is an escape for you to just say, you know what, no matter how I'm feeling, I'm going to play a song and just kind of let it take over.
Absolutely. And it resonates with people. And that still blows my mind, because sometimes I do think like, holy shit, I do have this really self-indulgent life. I get to just travel around and like sing for people, and I get to essentially do whatever I want all the time, and I make my living that way. Like, there's a lot of like wrestling with that, you feel, because it does feel self-indulgent. It does feel like, and especially when that part of it is so easy. Like, singing for me, it's natural, it's easy, it feels good. You start to feel guilty like for being that way. But then I think about like the fact that people need music, and like when you feel good, that passes on to somebody else, and it makes people happy, and that does feel good. Especially when I mean, I've been singing a long time. There's so many stories I could tell you, but I played in this band for a little while called the Franklin County Sweethearts when I was in my early 20s, and our main gig was playing in nursing homes, and that was just so like, it made people so happy, and I honestly felt like I was making a difference in this direct way. I wasn't solving world hunger, but I was making someone who felt shitty feel better. And like, that was just like the coolest job.
in a world where people focus a lot on the doctors and the lawyers and the people who, go to school and they pursue these traditional paths, you are the healers and the doctors in some ways, because as musicians, you do make people feel better in a very unique way.
Yeah, seriously. And like when I'm feeling really down and when I'm feeling like what is my purpose and why am I here? I have a moment like that. And I mean, I play out 5 nights a week, and almost every single time I do, somebody says something along the lines of like, hi, you made me feel better. I liked what you did. And like, not that I'm seeking validation in my life, but it's like, it's nice to have. Like, I still think about one of the first tours I ever did. I went to Kansas. I was 21 years old, and I'd never seen a pro-life billboard before. Like, because I live in Massachusetts, it's a really liberal place, and like, especially the town I live in, like Northampton, it's a very like, we have Smith College, it's very like empowering to women, and like you just see, it's, I never thought that was a thing. I lived very separate from that. So I remember going down to Kansas, seeing this pro-life billboard, and it wasn't just one. I kept seeing them over and over again, and just like very aggressive billboards. And I get to my gig and I'm very angry, and I feel really like charged up about this. So I go and I play this really intense set, and there's a girl and she's holding her little sister's hand, and they walk up to me and they're looking at me very, like, after the set, and they're looking at me very inquisitively, and then they start to smile, and this woman, she says to me, I'm so glad that you came to our town. My sister's never seen someone so beautiful with such hairy armpits before. I have hairy armpits too, and I've always felt really weird about it. And like, the fact that you're wearing a pretty dress and you're hairy is so cool to me. And I'm like, fuck, like what I do is important. Like, showing people in a place where they don't see people like me, like spreading this, it felt really important. And the little girl like smiles at me and she's like, you are so good. And like, and more women came up to me at that show and were like fuck yeah, like thank you for being you. And I mean, like, I'm just singing, I'm just doing what feels natural. And the fact that like it felt really good. It felt like I am on the right path to whatever the fuck is meant for me.
You kind of still get your own American Idol experience, because the show is always about, I mean, even if you're not like in pop, I guess in theory, like finding that pop star who people would identify with and like, oh, I relate to you, whatever. And so even though it might not be on television, just to have somebody who says, you look like me, or I know somebody that you look like, you had that moment where somebody could say, thank you for making me feel less alone. Thank you for making me feel like I could be me. And that just adds to why you do what you do.
Absolutely. And like, of course I'm like pissed I wasn't shown on TV, but I like, at the end of the day, like, I don't need that to feel validated. I have these moments all the time, and I get to sing for people, and like, and I've been wrestling with this a long time. I mean, Idol just ended, but it's been over a year it's been in my life. So like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, it sucks. I'm so glad I went, and I don't need it. I don't need to be on TV to like be a whole person.
Oh my gosh, no.
Like, and it took me a while to get to that place, because of course you're upset when it happens, but now I'm like, oh, like I'm still standing. I still get to sing for people all the time, and I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah. I could ask any musician this, but how cool is it just to live the life on the road and just go different places and meet all kinds of different people and be in all kinds of different parts of the country and just experience life in a constant sort of changing environment.
Then it's crazy. It's so cool. And I feel too, like I mentioned before, like when I was on Idol, like that part of it, the not knowing what your next day is going to be, and like staying up super late, I felt very prepared for that because of what I've done in my life experience. But yeah, being on tour is crazy. Like, I can't believe it's my life. I still like wake up some days and like, oh my God, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be in Texas, and I'm going to get to go and like sing my heart out to all these new people. And then I'm going to get to go to New Orleans and see my friends. And like, it's just crazy, because that too, of like, when you're on tour all the time, I have friends everywhere, and I can't wait to go see them. And like, some people still haven't heard about like the crazy TV thing I did this year. And like, I get to tell them about my stories, and like, and they get to tell me theirs. It's crazy. I love being in a new place all the time.
Yeah. Well, you're getting ready to go out on another tour, so I want to hear about it.
Yes. So I'm doing a one-off in the Catskills tomorrow. So it's always nice, like before I go on a long trip, I like to do a short trip right before just to like test out the set and like kind of get myself in that mindset. So I'll go to the Catskills on Friday and play in Mountaindale, and I'm pumped about that. But my big national tour, I'll do a big chunk of it on my own, and then I'll meet up with my guitar player, JJ Slater, and we'll finish out the tour together. But I'll do Brooklyn, where I'll go to go see Elliot. And then I might stop in Virginia to go see Mark Osborne and play a show with him.
Yes.
Oh, so good. Then I will go to Asheville, Knoxville, Taos, New Mexico, Dixon, New Mexico, Monroe, Utah, Mancos, Colorado, Terlingua, Texas, Marfa, Texas, Denton, Texas, Austin, Texas, probably Corpus Christi, New Orleans, Savannah, Wilmington, North Carolina, and then finishing up in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Oh my God, I'm so pumped. It's going to be a lot of driving, and I really hope I don't run out of money, but par for the course, I guess.
You never know what's going to happen next. You never know what fan you're going to meet that you're going to touch in a new way, and how different crowds are going to react to different songs, and what new songs you're going to write. I mean, do you like writing on the road? Is that something that you do a lot? Or are you more somebody who writes while you're at home? What's your process like for making new music?
I do both. I'll write on the road and I'll write at home. I'll kind of write anywhere. I'm one of those weirdos who just like always has a notebook in her purse and is like at a sports bar, like drinking a soda and like writing and kind of like taking in the surroundings. But I mean, you have these experiences and then you can either write about them in the moment or sometimes you'll reflect on them after. But the thing that really bummed me out about, well, both bummed me out about Idol and was cool once I got to the duets round is like, I love to collaborate with other people. And that's so like one of the greatest joys of my life. Like I play in my band, Weege and the Wonder Twins, and we've been writing together since we were, I think we've been together 7 years. And like to be able to share that with other people and make something beautiful with like combined efforts is like one of the greatest joys of my life. So getting to do that with Elliot in like, definitely like, it's like the first part of Idol was like, all right, kind of bummed, then a victory, then feeling kind of weird. And then like having that in the collaborative experience in there was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, this is what you love about music. Like, no matter what happens, like you have this is a skill you have. And this is something that brings you joy.
By the way, I want to hear about the show you had with Elliot, because I bet that was really fun.
Yes. So Elliot was playing at Rockwood Music Hall in New York City. And I was driving around and I realized like where I was in my day. Like I could get there if I left immediately I was in Connecticut at the time, and it was a 2.5-hour drive with no traffic. I'd get there just in time to see Elliot play. And then so I text him. I'm like, all right, bud, like, hey, I think I'm going to be in New York City today. Like, what time is your gig? And he's like, 6:00. You going to come sing? I'm like, absolutely. I'll be there. The George Washington Bridge was closed. FDR Boulevard was like partially closed. So I'm driving. It's like I'm racing against the clock. I just get into New York City at 6. I'm navigating to get through, and it's like 6:40 when I finally park and run. And I kid you not, I like open the door of Rockwood, and he's right in the middle of Dreams, and it's the verse where I'm supposed to come in.
Oh my God.
And he's like, he already sang his verse, and it's literally my time to sing. And so I like run up there, throw my car keys on the piano, grab the mic, and start singing. And he just couldn't help but laugh. He's like, I knew this would happen. Yeah. So we did get to sing our song together, but I missed the entire show.
Wow.
Well, we went out for dinner. Like we had a really good time, and
that's the kind of stuff that literally happens in dreams.
Seriously, like it was crazy. It was like right when I was supposed to sing, I like ran in, and like all the heads in the room turned, and it's like, oh shit, she's arrived.
I want to ask if there's anything else that you've been up to since Idol, or anything else that you've got coming up. Obviously, tour is probably the big thing, but just musically, anything that you want to tell us about.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm getting ready to go on my national tour, and I leave for that on July 19th, and you can go on lexiweegemusic.com and see all the dates. I'm writing a new record with my band, Weege and the Wonder Twins, and that will probably come out in 2023, but we play around a lot, and we have a lot of music online, which you can check out at weegeandthewondertwins.com. I'll be dropping a new single, Blossom, in a couple of weeks, which you can follow me on all my socials to find that. And me and Elliot are talking about doing a tour together, and that'll probably be happening in the fall. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Dusty Bones are back, baby.
Dusty Bones. They're dusting off the Dusty Bones.
Yeah, we're dusting off. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm always putting out music. I'm always touring, whether it be by myself with Weege and the Wonder Twins, or me and JJ Slater tour a lot together too. Like, I'm out there. I'm doing it.
Cool.
Come find me.
And Lexi, we're actually going to play one of your songs as we close out here. And I'll, make sure to give you any chance to do any last plugging, and I'm going to plug the show. So before we go, we're really excited for people to hear this. What can you tell us about this track?
You guys are going to get to hear Hydrangea. It's my latest single, and I hope you like it.
Cool. Thank you so much, Lexi. I love talking to you. I love getting so much of this insight into Idol. I loved hearing about everything you've been up to since the show. Where can people go to find you online? Anything else that you want to tell them about what they can look forward to? Take it away.
You can find me on lexiweegemusic.com and on Instagram as well. And my band, Weege and the Wonder Twins, weegeandthewondertwins.com is also on Instagram. You can find me and my band streaming on all the streaming services as well. And yeah, come find me.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening or watching. This has been American Idol Unaired. You can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Idol Unaired Podcast. Wherever you are listening, make sure that you subscribe, rate, leave a review if you can. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to Lexi Weege for being a part of American Idol Unaired. Lexi, here is your song, Hydrangea.
Thank you so much for having me, Bennett. It was a pleasure.